morning. Over the last couple months, I've found myself waking up in the morning and the first thoughts of my day not being very constructive. And I found that often the first fruits, there's a first fruits principle. We talked about this last year when we did our study of Genesis. There's a first fruit principle that whatever the first fruit is of your day, of your week, of your time, of your year governs your whole. And I've taught the word of the Lord long enough to know better, but I just found myself kind of surrendering to a season of getting up on the wrong side of the bed, if you will, and what began my day governed my whole. And so it made the heaviness, the darkness harder to get out from under. And I was reading this passage of scripture the other day, and I was just reminded that it's not only the words of our mouth, but it's something else, because we talked about this early on. I'll read it. Psalms 19:14, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And when I allowed this truth to kind of settle in on me, number one, recognizing what my negative thoughts were doing, not just in that moment, but through the course of my day, through my conversations, through my thought process and the vision casting and the ministry, and even in my daily activities and my daily chores, everything felt like a chore. Nothing was kind of wrapped in the joy of the Lord, if you will. So it can't just be the words of my mouth. It has to be the meditation of my heart, because remember, we talked about it. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth does what? The mouth speaks. So my mouth is speaking what is in my heart, or what I am allowing my heart to meditate on. And when I allow my heart to meditate on the negative, the challenging, the hard, and those are all real things. I don't think one of us can look at our life and not see hard things. Because I remember Rick Warren saying this one time, and it has really stuck with me, and I've honestly found it to be mostly true, is that life is never all good or all bad. It's usually an intermingling of the two. And so even in the hardest seasons of life, there's always something to be grateful for. And even in the good seasons of life, there are always hard things. And that's why we choose how we're going to respond and what we're going to meditate on. That is our choice. But he says this, he said, let it be acceptable in your sight. Now, that's a sobering word, because that says to me that there are meditations of my heart and words of my mouth that are not acceptable to the Lord. And so it's my responsibility as a follower of Jesus Christ to take this word that I know and speak it and meditate on it and put it into practice in my daily life. And what I've discovered is that what I wake up thinking about, speaking, is what governs my day. And it dictates how I respond. One morning a couple weeks ago, I was sitting on my front porch, on my back porch, and the Lord was kind of dealing with me in regards to Philly. It honestly was right after the whole, what are you doing with that remote conversation? And it was just a gentle reminder of the Lord. You get to choose your words and your attitudes for this day. And it will affect everything around you. So friends, on this Monday morning, we get to choose the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart. And I believe that your prayer, like mine, is, Lord, please let it be acceptable and pleasing in your sight. And may the first fruits of this Monday morning govern the whole.